Hello, hello. Are we streaming? Are we streaming? Are we dreaming? Are we streaming and dreaming and screaming and creaming and beaming? Are we doing all those things? I think we are. Pretty sure we are. We're streaming. Oh, God, are we streaming? Oh, boy. Oh, we're streaming. We are streaming. Yeah, nut. Hi, Melon. Hi. Hi, how are you? Hi, hello. Hello, hi, 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 hello. Hey, guys, listen, I know it's been a few weeks since we've done a Q&A live stream and everything. That's what we're going to do. I've had a couple of crazy weeks. Plus, I haven't been feeling all that well. I've been sick. You've seen me in the videos looking sick like a fucking dog. I was like really trying to muster everything that I could just to do that lightning bolt review. Felt like I was going to die. But I'm feeling better. And the madness has cleared a little bit. And playing a little music, hanging out, and ready to do a sweet-ass little Q&A live stream where I just take your super chats, try to answer as many questions as humanly possible. That's what's going on. Yes, MCR is back. MCR is back. And Rage Against the Machine coming soon, too. They might be Giants' best tier list when? Maybe someday. I don't know. I want to do a 4 out of 10, yes. That is what I gave Jesus is King. I do want to do a Drake tier list. Just see how it would turn out. Just for lulls, just for shits and giggles. Since a lot of the tier lists I've been doing are more like classic artists, but I want to see what would happen if I did a Drake one. What's my opinion on all these band reunions? I'm fine with it. Come back, give me something to talk about. I'm fine with it. Am I winning No Nut November? No, I have nutted already. So I've never been a participant in No Nut November. I think you have to be a psycho and a loser to participate in No Nut November. Nutting is perfectly fine and healthy, and it's totally cool. And No Nut November sucks. So that's my opinion. When am I going to review Velocity Design Comfort by Sweet Trip? I was actually planning on doing it for Classics Week this year. Classics Week this year is shaping... I don't want to spoil all of it, but I'll tell you that I want to do Sweet Trip, I want to do MCR, and... yeah, I don't want to spoil anything else. But those are the ones that I want to do. Those are a couple that I want to do. I know that's not all of them. And I don't want to spoil any more today. But those are 2 that I want to do for Classics Week this year. So look for it then. Thoughts on Whit Lowry's latest album, Never's Road? I haven't heard it, so honestly, I cannot comment. I cannot comment. Is it good? Anthony at theneedledrop.com. Email me about it, and maybe I'll hit me with the best track. Thoughts on Tyler Childers? I think he's a decent singer-songwriter. I think stylistically he's a little generic, but he can certainly come into his own. And I like that he's a little on the fringe. He's certainly not a bro country artist or a snap country artist or anything like that. So. He's got more artistic integrity than a lot of people in the mainstream country industry. Collab with Pyrocynical. Is he doing okay? I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope he's doing okay. Looks like his channel's doing pretty good last time I saw it. When I get on JRE, can I please, for the love of God, explain veganism? I don't think Joe Rogan would ever have me on JRE. Not because he disagrees with my views or anything, but I don't think he really cares about like music like that. And music is really the only reason that he would have me on. You know what I mean? I don't think Joe really fucks with music like that. So, and he usually likes to talk politics and and while I do, that's not primarily what I'm known for. You know what I mean? So I don't think Joe would ever have me on. Do I think age has to do? Do I think age has to do with impact of an artist? For example, I thought it was cringy. For me, he was like my Tupac. I mean, sure. I mean, whatever, like, yes. Like, your enjoyment and your perception of things are based entirely on your experience and your context. And your age and the time that you grow up in is certainly your context. And sure, like, if I were maybe 10 years younger, would I have a slightly different opinion of XXXTentacion? Potentially. I don't see why not. 10 years is a long time. It's a weird time to be growing up, y'all. Excuse me. Hey, Fantano, how can I get you to listen to my Slums Hip Hop 20-minute project? Let me know. Can't promise I'm going to listen to your 20-minute project. If you Anthony@theneedledrop.com me, I can maybe try a track from it. And if I like that track, then I'll try another track and then another track if I like that track. But yeah, that's my email. People send me demos and shit all the time. Am I going to Mayhem Return concert? No plans to, but the new record is on my to-do list. Listen my new album, Old Divmos Orion Ryzen, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play. Anthony@theneedledrop.com. Email it over. I will try a track from it. Adam Hart, Piper, Animals, and Metal are the best Pink Floyd albums. Agree? Adam Hart, Piper. No, The Wall needs to be in here. And Wish You Were Here needs to be in here. And I'm not that crazy about Piper, honestly. It's not one of my faves. Also, Sun Review. I am going to be reviewing the new Sun record, yes. Classic review for Goody Mob Soul Food. No plans on that right now, but it is a classic. I do not deny that. Also, where would I rank it in the Dungeon Family discography? Probably pretty high, but again, no plans on reviewing it anytime soon. But Goody Mob in the Dungeon Family hierarchy, in my opinion, is right under Outkast. So, Adam, speaking of daughters, do I think You Won't Get What You Want will be eligible at the 62nd Grammy Awards for Hard Rock category? I don't know about that. They would have to have been submitted for it, and I don't know if their label is really a label that does that or cares about that. Maybe, potentially. I have no idea. That's some industry insider shit that I have no clue about. Phil Elverum tier list, potentially. He's got such a huge discography. It would be hard to sort of like wrangle it all in. What do I think would come out on top? The ones that would come out on top if we're doing everything, for me, are like fucking Mount Erie, The Glow Part 2, Wynn's Poem, also, the Crow Looked at Me would be coming out on top 2. Probably those top 4. How much do I charge for hugs? If we're in the same place, I don't charge anything for hugs. As long as we're in the same area and you seem nice and you don't smell, hugs are free. Have you heard the new Immure track that dropped last night called Pig's Ears? I love it, but my only issue is it's too short. I have not heard it. Let me put a reminder in my phone to give it a try, give it a shot. How am I doing today? I'm doing okay. Cough is still lingering, but I'm getting through it. Ever going to do a classics review of Cream, Wheels of Fire? That is a good record. I don't plan on doing it this year, but I suppose as long as I stay alive, there's always a chance. Or dare I ask a tier list? I don't know about a Cream tier list, but Wheels of Fire is a classic record. I do not deny that. I mean, I have a copy of it myself. Have I had any cool meals lately? Not any super cool meals. Not any like extraordinarily cool meals. Have I had any other interactions with Ride or any other members of Death Grips outside of South by Southwest? No, not really. Not like face-to-face, in person, talking. I might have emailed them afterwards just to be like, maybe ask a question or two if like I thought something was weird. Although I don't remember what the responses were or even what the questions were off the top of my head. So no really like high-tier interactions or anything like that. And to go back to the cool meals thing, I did have cupcakes on my birthday, some vegan cupcakes. I'll say that. Have I ever listened to Ninja Sex Party? Yes, I have. It's not really my sense of humor, though. So, but still, shout out to them for being sexy and successful. Excuse me. What do I think about Sandinista by The Clash? It's not one of their best, but it's certainly better than Cut the Crap. Personally, I think it's a super underrated experimental rock funk album. Yeah, I mean, that era of Clash's music is not as bad as some people make it out to be, but it's not as good as London Calling. In some respects, I kind of enjoy that era a little bit more than like the debut. I think the debut is hella overrated as fuck. It's just like a really boilerplate punk record with nothing special about it whatsoever. What is your actual opinion on the Planning to Rock album you gave a 0? Probably somewhere in between the 0 and a 10, because I also gave it a 10. I think it's one of her more interesting records, or one of their more interesting records. I'm not sure what Planning to Rock's pronoun status is right now, so I guess I'll have to leave it at that. Best worst Coldplay album and why? I think the worst one was the latest one, and the best one is probably X and Y. And just because I like the super clean production on that one, I think it's immaculately produced, and I think the songs are particularly catchy, and I'll just leave it at that. Got that one. Take on EDM genre. Obviously, it's a very big genre, and a lot of different stuff come under it. If you do listen to what are my stops? I mean, EDM, as far as like the mainstream stuff, the new stuff, it's not really something I'm all that well versed in. And there are other reviewers out there on YouTube who are already covering a lot of that stuff, and I think they do a lot better job than I could. So personally, I'm just kind of leaving it to them. And plus, there's not really a whole lot of stuff in that category. Not that I avoid electronic music on the whole. I don't. You guys know that. Although I don't probably review as much of it as I should. Though there are records that I anticipate and I look up, and I want to hear, like the new Floating Points record, for example, which I thought was okay, but no matter how many times I listened to it, there wasn't really any kind of emotional investment coming from me. You know, it just kind of felt like very relaxing, pleasant, very inoffensive IDM. Well produced, you know, but not really anything texturally that was like wowing me. But yeah, you know, look, if you're crazy about EDM, I recommend you start a channel. I recommend you start talking about it, because I don't think I'm particularly great at talking about EDM, you know, in general. Though if something does stand out to me and, you know, I'm dying to talk about it, I do. Thoughts on Carrion Crawler, The Dream, please. Please respond. I've asked this like 3 times now. I think that one's okay. It's not one of my favorite, and let me confirm this. This is a fucking OC's record, right? Yeah, this is not one of my favorite OC's projects. This is honestly like in the middle of a point in time for the OCs where I thought their material was just okay. I thought that they started off really well with Master's Bedroom, and around Dog Poison, Warm Slime, Carrion Crawler, Putrefier's Floating Coffin, Drop, I think the quality like really went into the toilet. But I think they've gotten way better as of late. So, Melon, am I familiar with Oscar Jerome? I'm not. If not, please check him out. I'm not familiar with Oscar Jerome. I cannot say, but I will put that on my phone. I will try it out another time. But thank you very much, Tago. Thoughts on the future of AI-generated music? I think we could potentially be looking at a future where we, you know, are seeing some AI-based compositions that are actually pretty interesting and compelling. I don't know what that'll mean for, like, communicating lyrics and emotions and that sort of shit. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a certain level of human touch that in AI we'll never be able to fully replicate. As long as people keep experimenting and trying different things and looking for new sounds. You know, at the end of the day, there's always going to be a limitation of some sort with an AI. And I guess I'll leave it at that. You know, but here's the thing. Most people aren't really looking for limitless music. Will we reach a point where maybe 90% of our pop music, which is incredibly formulaic, is just like produced by like AIs? Probably. You know, will we ever reach a point where, you know, it'll make sense for AIs to be like producing weird abstract noise ambient pieces that are like 40 minutes long and super dynamic and random as fuck? I don't know. I kind of find that to, you know, the potential of that to be difficult to comprehend. But maybe that's because I'm not programming an AI. Maybe if I did, I'd see it a little bit more easy. I started in 2009. What albums from 2000 to 2008 do I think are 10s out of 10s? Probably Mad Villainy, Lift Your Skinny Fists. I don't know. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. I really can't right now in this very moment. It's a very long list of records that I think are great from that entire decade, and I can't list them all. Do I know if Cal plans on doing a 22222 subscriber special? I don't know if he plans on doing that right now, but for the 2 million, we might do a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy Redux. We'll see. You've probably answered this. Luke Walls. Ow! Thank you for the 20, goddamn. You probably answered this before, but do I think that Yeezus has aged well or not? Do I like any tracks better or worse? There are tracks on it that I didn't like that I think I hate more. There are tracks on it that I thought were okay that I think I like a bit more. My opinion on it is still pretty split. I will say generally for the Kanye fan base, though, the album has aged pretty well, as it seems like they love it more generally than they used to. Do One, Marry One, Kill One, a handful of ice cubes that don't melt, a cup of blueberry yogurt, and an Impossible Burger with a couple of bites taken out of it. Okay, do one, marry. I'll marry the ice so that after the ice melts, I'll be free. Kill one. I will kill the Impossible Burger because I don't want to eat anything that has a bite taken out of it. And I will do the yogurt because that'll be creamy AF. And also, what do I do with all of this money? Pay my bills. You should listen to Zillakami's new music. He really seems to have another talent. Okay. I've not heard the new stuff. You know, I've only heard that collaborative project you did a little while ago. I will put it on my phone. I will remind myself. Thank you, Easton. Let's agree. Flightless Records has one of the most promising rosters out there. Super underrated. I don't know. I mean, I feel like a bulk of the talent just kind of hinges on King Gizzard. You know what I mean? Look, there's some other worthwhile groups on there, but I feel like that label wouldn't be anything without King Gizzard. No one would be talking about that label at all without King Gizzard. So, I mean, unless we reach a point where there's a group as great as King Gizzard on the label, I don't know how horny I can get about the label. When am I doing another reviewing your music? I don't know. I don't know if I'm planning on doing another one soon. You know, I've just been really swamped, and reviewing your music take a while to shoot. But you know, hopefully one before the year is out. I was hoping to submit one of my band songs. Yep, just keep an eye out on social media. I will post it when I post it. Have I ever taken psychedelics? No. Maybe one day though. I'm not averse to the idea. I'm just incredibly busy. What do I think of how X's team is handling the music post-death, specifically his mom? Yeah, I think it's kind of trashy, but I guess it's within their right to exploit it as much as they want, even though it's disgusting as hell. I reviewed Trap Mask Replica before. What about Shag's Philosophy of the World album? That'd be a fun classic review. I'll think about it for a future classic review. And, I mean, I think the story behind them is kind of weird, and I think the album is pretty fun, but not incredibly listenable. Brad B. McCormick, thank you for the 20. Ow! Hey, Anthony, do you know the 33 1/3 album review book series? I do. I have a few copies of it. It's like 100 pages of music journalism dedicated to a single album. If so, favorite album review book? I haven't really read that many in the series, so I don't know if I have a favorite in the series, or what album would you want to read 100 pages on? I'd love to see a Death Grips one, personally. I really honestly would. So, let's have it. Death Grips. Let's do it. Did you listen to R.L. Grime Halloween 8? No, I have not. Anticipating the new Muramasa album, or thoughts on his music in general. I'm vegan, by the way. Shout out to you for being vegan. I saw there was a new Muramasa track. I have not tried it yet, but I will be probably talking about it in the new weekly track roundup, and I'll have more of a sense. Oops. Let me get that back up. Whoop. I'll have more of a sense as to whether or not I'm anticipating the new record once I hear that. But no, I've not heard the new R.L. Grime. I may not, but still, I'm very happy that you are on the vegan train, brother. Thoughts on Haley Hendricks? I feel like I need to start a garden. That name is super familiar, but I cannot remember what their music sounds like at all at this point. So I'll put it in my phone, try to remind myself to try it again. But I know I've tried their stuff before, but I cannot remember at all what it sounds like. Thoughts on the MCR and Rage Against the Machine reunions? I'm happy about it. You know, honestly, like I love Rage Against the Machine. I love Rage Against the Machine. I was really pissed when the band broke up. I thought they had so much more potential. The covers album mostly sucks. The Audio Slave record is mediocre as fuck. Everything Rage has tried to do afterwards, as far as another music project, like sucks. Like, let's get the band back to fucking together, especially since, like, the world is horrible. Like, there's tons of terrible shit to rap about. Let's do it. And as far as the MCR, I mean, I don't know, their last record wasn't so hot, but it could be good. Hey, Fantano, am I familiar with Boogerins? Always wondered what I thought about their music. No, I'm not, actually. I'll have to just put it in my phone and try it at another time. Miss Relief, which is a fun name, but thank you very much for being generous and supporting. I think you should do a list of the albums I think will become classics or just age well in this decade for your year-end lists. Also, please don't cop out with the Floyd worst to best. I will do a Floyd worst to best or tier list at some point. You will see it. And maybe a list of albums I think will age well from this past decade would be an interesting video. That could be an interesting video. especially since the decade's almost over. I think you should do... Oh, wait, I got that one. Let me get this one before it goes. Can I rate one of my songs? I'm a new rapper producer. I don't really do album reviews or ratings like direct one-to-one personal ones, but you can always anthony@theneedledrop.com it to me, and I will give it a try if you reference this exchange. Coldplay is not my thing, but Milo's Iloto deserves more love. And yeah, honestly, I think it's one of their worst albums, if not their worst record. I don't care for it. Have any thoughts on that record in particular? I've reviewed it, so if you want to hear all my full thoughts on that record, you could find those fucking thoughts on my channel. But yeah, I don't care for it at all. I really do not like it. But I'm glad that you like it. I'm glad that you dig it, Torin. I know I've talked about this before, but how have I cultivated my manner of improvisational and critical thinking? Lately, I've been in a rut, and I'm interested to hear what you'd have to say. Love ya. It's really just been a matter of work, a lot of practice, effort every day, doing it every day, fine-tuning. You know, just finding out what my personal formula is over the years that I've been doing it over and over and over and over and over. You know, they say if you do something for 10,000 hours, like you're I don't know what the fuck they say. They say you'll get good at it. As long as you're doing it diligently and intelligently, you know, where you're trying to gain knowledge and information about what it is you're practicing and honing your talents in. And I'm far fucking past that 10,000 hour mark, baby. Have I listened to Tales from the Crypt by Crypt? No, I have not. I'm not familiar with that record. Pop it in the phone. But no, I'm not familiar with that one. Luda, I'll try it out. You should ask to go on the Super Mega Cast with Matt Watson. Yeah, they've invited me. We just have not figured out a time yet, so it will happen. Just be patient, and it will occur. Don't I think 6ix9ine was right to snitch? He single-handedly locked up a bunch of gang members, making Brooklyn a much safer place to raise children. Excuse me. I don't personally know, excuse me, all the ins and outs of 6ix9ine snitching and all that shit. Look, I think that snitching, 6ix9ine snitching, I don't think we could objectively look at it in a vacuum, because simultaneously, while we can say, oh, well, he put a bunch of gang members like in jail, like a bunch of money from 6ix9ine went to that gang. He used his clout and his image to build that gang up. And yeah, he might have put a bunch of members in jail. Like, dude, 6ix9ine may be the reason that gang has more members than fucking ever. You know what I mean? So, look, here's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, 6ix9ine, his involvement with Treyway, may have, even with the snitching, done more harm than good. If you know, the objective here is to make the gangs smaller and more irrelevant. But at the end of it, you know, but beyond that, 6ix9ine isn't really the reason that gangs and gang violence exist anyway. You know, and the thing is, like, snitching is really just putting a Band-Aid on top of a larger problem. You know, I can't say definitively whether or not what 6ix9ine did was the moral choice. But when I commented on him snitching, it was mostly just like in light of, hey, you know, the G code and this and that and the other thing, which I don't entirely agree with myself. You know, not that I have to or need to. As a white person who didn't have to grow up in that context, it's not really on me to comment on whether or not, like, that's a good philosophy to live by. But I guess the last thing I'll say is, you know, I'm mostly, you know, from the perspective of someone who reviews music, interested in how snitching and the perception of him post-snitching will potentially affect his career. Whether or not you want to make a moral judgment on whether or not it was a good or bad thing for him to do, which I think there are contexts in which snitching makes sense. You know, I think that's on you. Let's argue Kanye will move on from Christian gospel music and Jesus is King will be a weird divergence in his discography. Yes, sure, most likely, but most of Kanye's records are weird divergences into something. You know what I mean? Like the mental health of Ye, and, you know, the auto-tune and the singing and the pop music of 808s, and, you know, Yeezus is a weird detour in its own way too. So, you know, Kanye's always been an evolver. I don't believe that he's just going to make Christian records from now on to the rest of his life. And if he does, they're not all going to sound like this. Have I heard the new Al Say record? No, but it's been a long time since I've even enjoyed a bit of one of their records, so I don't know if I'm really planning on trying it. I may put it in the Why You Know review, but even if I do, I don't know how much I'll really have to say about it. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out at the end of the day. What's my favorite NPR Tiny Desk? Probably the T-Pain one. Who are some, if any, of the artists in EDM genre I would like to review if they dropped another album? I might want to review a new Skrillex record at some point. I might want to review a new Porter Robinson project if he has one coming down the pipe. Thank you very much, Hudson. Wanted to bring a much-needed from the banana. Thank you for the 20. Ow! Attention to No Venable. Her latest crowd-funded album, Cascadia, in particular, is haunting and mesmerizing. It's become one of my favorites. Definitely worth a listen. Have I heard any of her stuff? No! But I will put it in my phone, and I will see what's up. And crowd-funded albums, I think, are the future. Let's go. Excuse me. Am I going to review the new Fire Orchestra? Maybe not. I think they're overrated as hell. Not nearly as interesting as an experimental group as some people make them out to be. Also, would it be reaching to consider Delouse or Francis the Mute the best rock album of the 2000s? Yes, but Francis the Mute is fucking fire. It's definitely one of Mars Volta's best. But I haven't tried the new Fire Orchestra yet, so I don't know. I guess I'll reserve judgment. I'll put it in my phone for when I actually try it, but I don't find Fire Orchestra nearly as interesting as some people seem to on the internet. Can I please say Elvis on the beat in a couple of cool voices? Elvis on the beat. Elvis on the beat. Elvis on the beat. Hey, if you're ever signed to a major and my voice turns up in your beats, you better be giving me fucking royalties or something, or else I'm suing. Oh, also a music question. What do I think of the evolution of Sia's music? I feel she was pretty strong before recently, if you remember any of it. Also, I appreciate your other response. Take care. I thought her mainstream breakthrough was pretty cool. I thought she had some great tracks on that record, but since then I think she's fallen into a bit of a creative rut. I don't think she comes off as novel as she once did with tracks like Chandelier and all that. But I think she's always been a talented artist. Even her stuff before her kind of mainstream breakthrough was pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I think she still has a lot of potential. I'm just, waiting for her to come through with another killer single or record, I guess. Do I think Nevermind would be better if it had a more raw mix like Kurt wanted? By the way, thanks for putting me on to Otoboke Beaver. I know there's been a lot of controversy over the years as to whether or not, like, the mix and the production on Nevermind is good or bad or this, that, and the other thing. And did they ruin the album? Was it Kurt's vision? I don't mind the mix on Nevermind. I think the production's pretty good. I think it works. I think the songs, like, the best thing that you could ask for from production most of the time is just that the songs translate well and the performances translate well. And I think they do. I think they do on Nevermind. I think Nevermind is a great record. I think it sounds fantastic. Would it or could it have sounded better adjusted a little bit? I mean, look, when it comes to something as subjective and as detailed as production, you could fine fucking tune nearly any album forever. You know what I mean? At some point, you just need to be like, this is fine. This is good. This works. Let's put it out there so people can hear it. Got that one. J with a Y. Ow! Thank you very much. Or JV with a Y. Thank you for the 20. Ow! Any future tours in mind? Not right now. Maybe next year at some point. Maybe some UK dates. I don't know. I'm just very busy right now, and I'm locked down at the house for a while now. So just wanted to know if you like non-nu metal, groove metal, like Lamb of God. Lamb of God I'm not really crazy about. Sepultura does have some classic shit, and I do love that stuff. Some of their older, thrashier stuff. Chimeria. If that is that a typo? Is that the way that is typed like a band that I know, but it's not the actual typing. If that is the band that I know, I don't care for them. If that is not the band that I know, I've not heard them. Pantera, I think, is great. Vulgar Display of Power is one of the best records of that decade. Seems whenever I mention the genre, it gets a negative manner. Yeah, I mean, there's some new metal bands or bands out of that era that I fuck with heavy, that I've talked about. I even did a System of a Down review, and I very much consider them to have come out of that new metal, sort of era. Even though maybe you couldn't technically categorize them in the same way that you could a Korn or a Slipknot, they shared a lot of the same fans. What's up, Needly? Did you check out the new MIDI Kane Bangas? No, not yet. Anthony@theneedledrop.com. It's my email. Send it over. Do you know Sabotage or other classic Brazilian rappers? No, I'm not. I'm actually not familiar with Sabotage. Anthony@theneedledrop.com. Send me their best track. And reference this exchange in the email title. Do I listen to any classical music? Not really. Every once in a while. Some of the weird minimalist shit. But I haven't listened to any classical music lately. Outside of, I was listening to some takes on Ave Maria a while ago, though not technically a classical song. Is it? I have no idea at this point. And because I was kind of on a kick with that in my car. But outside of that, as of late, not really. And why is it considered so elitist? That is a long and storied history that would take hours to explain, which I cannot sort of sum up. But it mostly comes down to class. Thank you very much, Hudson, again. Oh shit! What the fuck was that last one? Shit. If I'm missing your super chats here, Anthony@theneedledrop.com. You can send them to me, and I will. Send you a personal email back. If you send a screenshot of the one that I missed. Hey, Melon, I'm back. Missed me. College has been crazy. Okay, Danilo. Hey, man, I hope you're back on that video grind, doing your thing. Did you see that Anna Frango Electrico review? I loved it. Hey, Anthony, I think Show No Mercy by Slayer is one of the most criminally underrated thrash albums. My thoughts. Show No Mercy by Slayer? I'm not recalling that one off the top of my head. Show No Mercy, Slayer. That's got to be a late era, right? Or no? No, this is their debut. No, this is. I don't think this record is underrated at all. I mean, it's not as like widely regarded as like fucking Rain and Blood, but I mean, the first leg of Slayer's entire discography amongst metalheads is pretty highly regarded. It's not really until like the groove metal era of Slayer that things start getting shaky. And that weird punk covers album that they did. That too doesn't really get the best reviews amongst fans. Kendrick's probably dropping next year. Kendrick's probably dropping. Wait, so I did that one. Kendrick's probably dropping next year. What do I want from a new album from him? I don't know. I would just like a record that feels a lot less commercial. It just seemed like he was just trying too hard for mainstream appeal on the new LP. And I would like a record that feels more cohesive, not so all over the place. What's my opinion on Scarufi? I think he's fine. I haven't read too many of his reviews. I don't mind the guy. Listen to Slaves, only good Brit-punk band. I disagree. Slaves, I think, are a little bubblegum for Brit-punk. They have some good songs here and there, but I think they're pretty bubblegum. Idols is a way better Brit-punk band. Quality aside, would I consider My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy influential in any way? Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. Though I think its influence is limited. It's not as influential as other records that came out around the same time, because a lot of Kanye's magic comes down to his madness, which is very much an individual thing for Kanye. It's not something another artist can just copy. Even though Fear Inoculum is bad, Danny Carey's drumming on it makes it almost worth it. I mean, if you're a drummer and you're a percussion head, sure. The drumming is good throughout a lot of the record. Is there an album for you where the instrumentation kind of makes the album? Not really a singular piece of, instrumentation. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really think there's a record that I love that, like, everything else on it I don't like, but I just really love that bass. You know what I mean? Even when the bass is good, being a bassist myself, can't really say if I think everything else is bad, is it a record I go back to and I enjoy? You know what I mean? At best, what I might end up doing is just like listening back to it to learn how to maybe play the bass line myself, and just kind of go that route. Have I heard of Messa? No, I have not. They're a stoner doom metal band from Italy. Insanely good. Okay. I will put it in my phone. Go from there. Do I have any favorite old school hardcore albums that aren't as widely known but deserve more love? I fuck with some old Vitamin X. Their stuff I think is good. And there's really cool, crazy hardcore 7-inch. I think they're like a European band. That was one of my favorites from back in the day. And it's from this group called Surf Nazis Must Die, which is, I think, the name of like the director that did Toxic Avenger. It's titled after one of his movies. And it's a really wild fucking punk record that I love. It's like a 2000s punk EP or 7-inch. If you could find it. And I don't remember it being problematic or anything. Maybe it is, but I know there's like a funny song in there about like beating up emos or whatever. But it's like a really it's really wild, fucking crushing little hardcore punk EP. How do I feel about humor in music? Generally, I think humor in music is underutilized. Some of my favorite musicians are humorists in their own right, like Frank Zappa. Do I see it enhancing or detracting from the music? Depends on the humor, depends on the artist, depends on the context, depends on the joke, depends on the songwriting. Do I think an artist who is primarily concerned with making comedy music should make something great, or could make something great? I think you could make comedic music that is great. Again, case in point, Frank Zappa. I think there's kind of a bit of a fine line between music that has comedic undertones to it and music that only exists to just kind of be funny or silly. You know what I mean? Neither of which is a bad thing. I mean, I also enjoy Weird Al. You know what I mean? And I think that, Weird Al has more artistic clout than a lot of other artists out there that you might consider serious. So, I don't know. Humor in music, again, I think it's underutilized. Not even a Why You Know review for Wilco. I haven't heard the whole Wilco yet, so I didn't talk about it in the Why You Know review. And I already had like 16, 15 records to talk about. But next time around, I'll probably try to get some time to listen to the Wilco album all the way through. Have I thought about... Yes, I am going to be reviewing that for Classics Week. You can look for that then. Also, do I like DJ Sprinkles? Personally, Midtown. I can't say. I cannot comment on that, but I can say the Sweet Trip review is coming during Classics Week, next one. Hey, what's up, Anthony? I've recently been listening to Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Black Star. That's classic record, and I think that album is outstanding. It is. Children's Story on there, the revision of that is really good. Would love to hear your thoughts if I have any. Yeah, it's a classic record. Great energy between Talib and Mos Def. It's a great record. Thoughts on video game music? I love a lot of the classic stuff from back in the day. A lot of the SNES RPG shit, Donkey Kong Country. Some of the NES stuff. As far as more modern stuff, Minecraft soundtrack, fucking Cuphead soundtrack. To take it back a little bit more, I love Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound. Just quality classic soundtracks. Also, the Undertale soundtrack is really good too. Thought that one was pretty sweet. Have I heard Sonic Prayer by Earthless? Thoughts? I think I may have at some point, but I was not a big fan. But I'll remind myself to try it again. But yeah, considering some of my other records that I love, I'm not as into Earthless as I would have assumed. If Paul McCartney dies before Ringo, the Beatles will have died in descending order of talent. Ouch. That's not nice. That is very much not nice. Danilo, my favorite Brazilian rapper, Sabotage. Recognize LC. Jonga. Mana Brown. Jonga's flow sounds like he's having a cocaine heart attack. Okay. Well, thank you again. Is one of the best 3 albums of the 2010s. Oh, that's funny. Chris, get the fuck out of my texts. You stop bitching at me about Coldplay like a boomer. Anyway, in this absurd world, absurd comedy and high quality fun posts are all we have. Do I still like edgy humor? Yes, I do still like edgy humor. Now that Filthy Frank is dead and Sam Hyde is canceled, what do I like? Or who do I like? What do I like as far as edgy humor now? I guess I like the Come Town podcast every once in a while. That's pretty edgy. David Firth came out with a new cartoon on his YouTube channel that was pretty fucking edgy, where he referenced like my scoring system for a second for some reason. Yeah, I still like edgy humor. I still enjoy some edgy humor. Will I be reviewing USA by Anamanaguchi? I'm still kind of processing it. Which album cover would win in a fight? Merzbow, Pulse Demon, Animal Collective, Meriwether? Definitely Pulse Demon. Pulse Demon would kick the fucking shit out of Meriwether Post Pavilion's ass. This is got that one. What do I think of Moloko? What's my stance on dairy products produced from human breast milk? What the fuck? What the fuck? Are we fucking... What? Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. No, I can't say I'm down to drink anyone's breast milk. Look, almond milk is fucking fine, guys. Almond milk is totally cool. Just fucking drink almond milk. Like, it does not need to come from a fucking another person's breast. Like, the breast milk is great. I hear great things, you know, not like from other human adults drinking it. But like, you know, I hear it's good for babies and shit. You know what I mean? So, as far as like, you know, babies and stuff, the Yelp reviews on breast milk are super fucking high. But as far as like getting breast milk out there to other adults, I don't know. I'm not super crazy about the idea. What's my favorite System of a Down song? Good question. Any thoughts on their upcoming album? Do they have an upcoming album? I thought they kind of shut the whole prospect of that down. I mean, one of my favorites is or some of my favorites is probably, you know, the Prison Song and Sugar. Probably two of my favorites. Also War. Love War. Hey, Anthony, do I listen to non-English speaking rappers? Rarely, but yes, you know, and I do review them every once in a while too. And do I listen to them differently? Yeah, probably in that I'm just like not interpreting the lyrics off the bat. Based off of that alone, I'm probably hearing them differently. But in terms of just like observing what the flow is, not too differently. I've been getting into shoegaze recently. Thoughts on Heaven or Las Vegas by Cocteau Twins. I think Heaven, rather I want to say Las Vegas is probably my favorite of those two. And I just like how euphoric and jangly it is. I just think it's a very pretty record. It's a very pretty old school record. Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing about Cocteau Twins and a lot of that stuff is that, you know, it's really about the vibe and the feel, and I just happen to like the vibe of that record. Thoughts on Spirit of Eden, Laughing Stock by Talk Talk. I'm actually going to do... I said I didn't want to spoil it. Classics Week. Just wait. So just be patient. It's going to happen. Tell Chris Ott to bring back Shallow Rewards. I think he's doing Shallow Rewards as like a podcast, so I think you can... find that on the iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Did I ever check out To Types, their new single, Dangerous? No, I have not. Was that suggested during a previous live stream? If it was, I missed it. But I will put it in my phone, or I did put it in my phone. Melon, you're almost at 2 million. Wanted to say congrats and that you deserve it. Any big plans for the milestone? I might do a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy Redux for celebration. Do I think Kitsy Ghost will produce any more music? I think so, and I hope so. Cassiopeia 1979 LP is one of my favorite best Japanese jazz fusion albums. Ooh, that sounds good. I am down for some good jazz fusion. I'm usually down for some good jazz fusion. Excuse me. Hey, Anthony, how much are you into Brazilian music? Sort of, a very tiny little bit. I'm from Rio and would like to know your thoughts on the music scene right now. I have no lay of the land when it comes to the Brazilian music scene. There are some Brazilian artists here and there that I enjoy. Recently reviewed that Ana Frango Electrico record that I thought was really good. And I've gotten some good suggestions here and there from my friend Danilo, who often pops up in the streams, who is like a Brazilian music aficionado and just a really all-around good dude. Recommend his channel. But again, I do not have like a lay of the land as far as like who are the best, most classic artists, this, that, what are the most influential records. I really don't know. You know, I'm in the dark here. I'm in the dark, though I hear things and I talk about what I like, you know, when I hear something I like. Excuse me. Thoughts on the MCR reunion. I hope a new album comes out. I hope it's great. And I hope it gives us a new record. Do I think it's a cash grab? I think most reunions are cash grabs, if not all of them. But look, at the end of the day, you can have a cash grab reunion and still put out a good record. So get your cash, but give me a good fucking album. Or else I'm going to come on my YouTube channel and say, fuck this record. This record fucking sucks. You should have stayed non-reunioned because this record sucks ass. That's what I'll say. Has an song's inclusion in a show or movie ever made you like it more than before? I didn't like Sunflower until I saw the Spider-Man movie. Yeah, Sunflower works pretty well within the Spider-Man movie context. Do not like it as a single though. And Wes Anderson has turned me on to quite a few music in college because of the music in his movies. So yeah, I very much get that. Any pre-Baroque early music recommendations? Is that something I listen to? Not really. Not really. Honestly. Sorry. Greensleeves? Is that Baroque? That's probably Baroque. You should totally check out Purple Foxtown. It's a really good psych rock record from Czech Republic. Okay. As long as that comes up in Google, I will be able to try it. I was going to go as you for Halloween, like so many people, man. I saw so many Fantano costumes on the gram. But the flannel was too expensive. Damn those flannel prices. God damn them. So I'm going as Zombie Jack White. That's fun. P.S. Say Yes is one of the few songs that will always make you cry. Say Yes is one of the few songs that will always make me cry. What about you? Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. Landslide. Makes me cry. And also that Anderson .Paak song with fucking Nate Dogg on it. That makes me fucking cry too. Fuck Anderson .Paak for making me cry with that fucking shit. How do I feel about Uma Guma? It's been my favorite Pink Floyd album, but critics, yeah, it's not one of their best. I don't think it's one of their best. I wouldn't put it in my top 5. But critics in the band seem to censure it. Also, could I say your favorite Tool song from each of their albums besides Fear Inoculum? I don't know about a favorite Tool song from each album. But you guys know my tier list. Yeah, I mean, probably 46 and 2. Probably Schism. I don't know. Those are maybe, I don't know. I would have to see, without the entire track list in front of me, I can't make a definitive answer, but maybe those. Check out the band Pregnant Whale Pain. Whale Pain? What? Their EP Blank is one of my favorite albums of all time. That is a fucking insane band name. What the fuck? I'll Google it. That's probably going to come up in Google. Do I think Grimes is underrated as one of the more out-of-the-box inventive artists in the industry right now? Not really. I don't think Grimes is particularly inventive. I think she's talented, and I think she's good, and I think she has a sound, but yeah, I don't think she's particularly, like, out-of-the-box. I think what she is like fucking not coming out with as much music as she should, given her profile and given, her industry connections. Melon, I will go back to the channel once I finish college this year. The Independent Darling. Okay, thank you, Danilo. Bring those hot Brazilian music vibes. Death Grip's objectively best band of the decade. You said it, not me, and I kind of agree. Have I listened to the Claypool Lennon Delirium? The new one, a little bit. Thought it was maybe a little less drab than the last one, but I'm still not crazy into it. I mean, I love that those guys can work together cohesively, but I just do not see the connection. Honestly, I just don't. I hope I listen to and review the new Gangstar record. It is on my calendar, and I have heard some tracks from it, and I'm hearing some good stuff. I don't think it's as good as Tribe's Comeback, but still excellent. Yeah, I'm hoping to like it more myself. Have I listened to and will I review the new Desert Sessions album? Yeah, I've been listening to it, and it's probably going to end up in the Why You Know review. It's way too fucking all over the place and random and zany and ridiculous. That chick, what that chick tweets track sucks ass. Really what I felt coming away from that record is, like, where was all this wild experimental fun energy on Villains? Like Villains is such a bland goddamn album. Like, where was that on Villains? That's honestly all that I want to know. I think there's some good tracks on the Desert Sessions. It's just not as good as many things. And just really all over the place. Will I ever run for public office? I don't know if it'd really be worth it for me at this point. I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I have people in my life to take care of. I don't know if sinking everything that I have into a public office run at this point really makes all that much sense. I have a loyal fan base and get you a nice jump start in the presidential run. I think you do a lot for this country. I would like to do a lot for this country, but I think that I also have the ability to do that by supporting other candidates that I think are doing good things, and I have the ability to do that using my platform also, so I will continue to do that. Will I ever review the new Yellow Wolf album? Maybe not. I don't have any plans to listen to it right now. There are so many other records that are just like staring me in the face that I've been dying to listen to, and I'm getting more requests about. Have I heard the new Infant Annihilator album? No, I have not. I didn't know they came out with new shit. I will try to give that a shot. That's yeah, it's pretty funny. I haven't listened to them since I talked about them that last time, but I will try to give their new thing a shot. I'll try to give it a listen. Feelings on Ali X. I have not tried Ali X's music, I don't think. Did I? That name seems so goddamn familiar. Ali X. Ali X. Have I heard her stuff before? Yeah. Okay. No, I've not heard Ali X before. Yeah. I mean, it's on my search bar now. I'll try it out later. But I've not heard Ali X. I don't know. Am I the only one who hypothesizes Kendrick's next record is going to be balls to the walls experimental because he's so spiritually lost? Maybe. Could happen. You know, maybe it'll be Jesus King Part 2. Hey, Melon, Melon Boy, how come you never reviewed any of Smino's work? I just don't think it's that interesting. I just really get nothing from it whenever I listen to it. I would love a review on Black Swan. Do it, Antoine. I get nothing out of Black Swan. I really literally get nothing out of it. I just find it to be so drab and underwhelming. I think that as a rapper, Smino is okay. I think that as a singer, he's okay. I think the beats are just okay. I just don't really see the hype. I don't get it. I really don't. Is it possible for a non-English band to make it in the States? Yes, I think so. Yeah. Also, why don't I review Kate Tempest? I thought her new record was just okay. She's yet to really have a breakthrough moment for me personally. A song here and there I like, but there's always something about her records that is lacking severely, in my opinion. Check out the new Mavi record. Sunny Day Real Estate, best to worst, probably not. But I do like some of their stuff. I'll put that on my phone. I'll hit up this one. How's my vibe? It's okay today. Anyway, I noticed that you haven't made much in the way of giving your opinion on Peggy Goo. What are my opinions on her song? I've not heard her stuff. So I'll pop it in the phone. Have a great day. But James, I apologize. I cannot comment. Another recommendation. Check out Apka by one of the best Brazilian records since 2019. Okay. I'll pop it in the phone. Let me get to this one I've been missing. Foreign Keen, $27.99. Ow! Thank you. Do I think Rex Orange County's sad face tweet is about your review? Also, Sam Cooke thoughts? No thoughts on Sam Cooke. Maybe the sad face is about me. Maybe he watches the reviews and he was hoping for a more positive review. If it is, I mean, I'm sorry. You know, I'm not like trying to bully Rex Orange County or anything, not calling the dude out. The point of the review is not to make him sad. The point of the review is have a discussion with other people who are hearing the record and other people who might be interested in the record. And really that's it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, while I did have my critiques, what I said at the end of the review still stands. Given your previous material, you have a way better record in you than this. So let's hear that record. You know, let's hear that album. Because the production on this record is nowhere near as good as a great deal of the tracks on Apricot Princess. To me, this sounds like you made a nearly soulless kind of indie pop soul record, you know, and you're better than that. Let's hear something better than that. The most important question you will ever answer, what's better, Brave by Sarah Bareilles or Roar by Katy Perry? I've not heard the Brave record. I don't even know if I said her name right. While I give credit to Brave for being the first, the production on Roar is better. It may in fact be, but again, I can't say I've heard that record, so I apologize. Gone. So I cannot fully comment on that one. Hey, Anthony, what are some of your all-time favorite movies? Big Lebowski, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 28 Days Later, you know, old classic like sci-fi and action flicks that were around when I was younger, like The Terminator and Terminator 2. You know, no, not that one. Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. I'll leave it at that. Those are probably some of my favorite older films. I mean, there's a lot of newer stuff that I enjoy the fuck out of that I can't even think of off the top of my head. But, you know, Antichrist is a great one. Also, Friday is an amazing movie. One of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. There's some Wes Anderson films like The Royal Tenenbaums that I liked quite a bit when I was younger. I'll just finish it there. Lighthouse is crazy. I've not seen the Lighthouse movie yet. I've been hearing good things. You know, I'm very behind on movies most of the time. I just recently saw Midsummer, so you know that kind of gives you an idea. Is pornography art? In its own genre, sure. Why not? I've seen artsy pornography before, so I don't see why it couldn't be. My Melon, any chance you'll check out Madian's Good Faith? Oh, yeah. I guess they're also an EDM artist that I've been looking out for. Maybe. I'll put it in my phone. I'll try to keep an ear out for it. You know, make sure to hit me up on social media. Remind me. You can also email me. You know, I've said my email a million times. Anthony, thoughts on any Drain Gang that has come out in this last year, specifically Ice Dancer? Ice Dancer didn't care for. The Thai Boy Digital I didn't really think was all that great. I just don't really fuck with Drain Gang. Is it okay for me to listen to Crystal Castles now after what happened between Ethan and Alice? Yes, just listen to Crystal Castles. It's not a moral quandary. Just listen to fucking whatever you want to listen to. Also, was Tomorrow's Harvest Boards of Canada's last album? Probably. I don't know. I really have no idea. You know, it's kind of hard to tell with them because they've always been like elusive. But to, you know, sort of like, further expand upon the, you know, Crystal Castles thing. If you have your favorite Crystal Castles CD and you just want to listen to that in your fucking car, just fucking listen to it. You know what I mean? I have the first couple of Crystal Castles records, and you know, I have no problem with listening to them if I want to listen to them. I think it's horrible what happened, obviously, and you know that shouldn't have happened, and it makes me really sad. And you know, because of that, I will not support probably anything Ethan does past this point. But still, having said all of that, am I going to throw out all my old Crystal Castles CDs because of, you know, that situation? No, you know, I don't think so. Hey Anthony, I've been considering converting into the vegan lifestyle, but I'm not sure where to start. Any tips? Anthony at theneedledrop.com. I have a primer that I send to people. Email me and I will send you that primer, and it has a bunch of information in it. It gets way more detailed than I could ever get here. What do I think of the Black Panthers as like a group? Excuse me. I think the Black Panthers serve a necessary purpose. But that's me probably getting way deeper into my radical political opinions than I should during a music live stream. But I generally don't really take much issue with the Black Panthers. 80, $12. Thank you. Bad at Gaming. Hey, Melon, congrats on your first full decade in the public eye as a music critic, online personality. Thoughts on Jack White doing the Bernie rally? I think that kicks ass. And can we have some live album recommendations? Thanks. The name of this band is Talking Heads. Is probably my favorite live album. And there you go. Check out the new 5K HD album, High Performer. It's glitchy and slightly industrial art, prog pop. Their first record. Okay. I will give it a shot. I'll give it a try. Ooh. Next. What is my favorite Mr. Bungle song? I don't know if I could say off the top of my head, but I know that all my favorite Mr. Bungle songs, or at least like a vast majority of them, come off of California. And did I see the Joker movie? I've not seen the Joker movie, although I plan on seeing the Joker movie. And when I do, 3 months from now, you'll probably see me write a snarky tweet about it. Hey, Anthony, I was wondering what my opinion was on ELO, or what my opinion on ELO is. Generally, I like Jeff Lynne. You know, I think he's a cool guy. I think he's a talented musician. I am interested in at least trying the new record. Am I going to review on the new album? I don't know if I'm going to, but I am curious about it. You know, if it blows me away and it leaves an impact on me, I most likely will talk about it. If it doesn't, it will most likely be in the Why You Know review. Any fell good music that's not shallow AF? Any feel good music that's not shallow AF? I don't know. I don't think most or all feel good music is super shallow. I don't think feeling good needs to be a shallow pursuit. But a feel good album off the top of my head. Oh, what the fuck is that? Magic. Thinking of I think I know the record that yeah, there's like a little known like indie pop group that came out with a record a long time ago. That still sticks out to me to this day as being particularly feel good. It's a group called Magic Kids. They came out with a record called Memphis, and it's a very feel good album in my opinion. Memphis, Magic Kids. I don't think it's super shallow. Maybe you think it'll be, but I don't know. I don't think it's shallow. Give it a try. Got that. Excited about the new Tame Impala record coming out soon. Yes, I did give a positive review of the new single, new track, and liked it a lot. And looking forward to the new record. I think it could be good. Thoughts on Hosier? I think they're a tad bit overrated. The vocals can be pretty impassioned, but the songwriting is meh and kind of dodgy. Mr. Bungle, California Classic Review, please, maybe one day. Not this Classics Week, though. Not this one. Hey, I'm Stoop Lee. I make soulful raps. Check them out. Anthony@theneedledrop.com. That's my email. Send me your best song. I'll give it a try. How did I feel about Trash Island? If I listened to it, I thought it was... Honestly, I thought it fit the title. Did not like it. I just do not get what you guys see in Drain Gang. Just sounds like overly glitzy, glossy, auto-tuned, just, I don't know, soup to my ears. The songwriting isn't really all that good. The vocals aren't really all that good. The production, in my opinion, is really lackluster a lot of the time. I think they have a strong and instantly noticeable aesthetic, but beyond that, I don't think Drain Gang has a whole lot going for them. And as far as someone asked my thoughts on Tina Shea, I'm probably saying her name wrong. I know that I am. I know that's not how you say her name, but I forget how you actually do. Tina Shea. Either way, I think vocally she's not really that great. I think oftentimes she falls into these very standard, generic lanes of very washed out, spacey R&B. I wish she didn't, because I think she has more potential than that, especially if she were making poppier music. But I don't know. I guess we'll see one day. I guess we'll see. Check your email after. Okay, Lockie. I will check my email after. I will be checking my email after this live stream. Thank you for the 20. Ow! Got that one. Did I listen to the new Logic single, OCD? I don't think I did. I love the hook, but Logic's verses are pretty hollow. They've been getting more and more hollow as of late. There's not really much to say. Logic, I think, is kind of losing the narrative a little bit. He's not saying a whole lot with his latest stuff. Best leftist punk bands, best leftist bands in general. Best leftist punk bands, like super leftist punk bands. Again, definitely Idols. Definitely Dead Kennedys. Definitely... Trying to think of who else is like a sturdy fucking leftist. I guess you could say Crass. The Crass are more anarchists, but their anarchism comes from a left-wing perspective. It's very anti-hierarchy. It's not like, like an ANCAP ideology where it's like, we fucking love hierarchy and the government should not exist so that it doesn't interfere with the natural hierarchies that arise out. No, it's not like that at all. So I would say Crass as well to a degree. But I'll leave it at that. Feast of Gore Gluttons, Swinecologist, The Kingdom Sitteth, on that new Infant album. Excited to know what you think about it. Okay, man. Those tracks sound gory and gross as fuck on the Infant Annihilator. If those are tracks. Just off the top of your head, what are one of the most inconsistent bands out there today? Most inconsistent? One of the most inconsistent as far as like quality across their discography? Fucking Weezer. Thank you. Trying to think of who else kind of fits the bill that I can just throw out there really quickly. I don't know of another off the top of my head that I can think of. But I'll just say Weezer. I'll just say Weezer and leave it at fucking Weezer because it's true. Yes, I have heard the Claypool Lennon Delirium, the old one and the new one. As I said before, I think it's cool they can work together. I personally don't see how their styles mesh or complement each other that well. But and every once in a while, I hear a song from there that I think is okay. But for the most part, I don't get it. I'm not crazy about it. So after rating Arabesque highly, how does it feel to be officially a Coldplay fan now? There's always been Coldplay stuff that I've liked. I just think that one song from the new record is pretty good. And there's older stuff of theirs that I think is good, but I'm not like a Coldplay stan. I know you've never reviewed this type of stuff, but what do I think of instrumental albums? I do review instrumental stuff every once in a while. The C14 last album I thought was just okay. I may cover more of his stuff into the future, though. But yeah, as far as an instrumental record, I wasn't crazy about that one. Let's go. Have I listened to any Indian music? I don't think I have reviewed any. I've heard some classic stuff, but not any newer stuff. Not a whole lot of like, pop or Bollywood stuff. It's not really my bag. Not that I hate it, but I just really haven't gotten into it. So I can't say. Sunshine is top 5 Pusha T songs. I don't know about that. Maybe. I don't know how much I could agree with that. Ever heard of August D? No, but email me, anthony@theneedledrop.com. I can check it out. Send me the best song. Basically, who's dropping fire and trash every other album? I got that one. Just wanted to check out or shout out the Mike Snare, one of the most criminally undersubscribed music channels on YouTube. Okay, Mike the Snare. Mike the Snare. That's a good YouTube channel. I like it. I like YouTube channels with 3 words. The Needle Drop, Mike the Snare. Thoughts on Summer Walker? I talked about her new record in the latest YUNO review. I thought that, it's cool that her new record has a bit of a concept and flow to it, but vocally, instrumentally, I think it's kind of drab. Where does Nujabes rank among your favorite hip-hop producers of all time? Not high. I don't think he's terrible. I think he has a unique style or had a unique style, but his music is just too pleasant to my ears. I just think it's too inoffensive. Have I listened to Kane's newest record? I have not. Anthony@theneedledrop.com. Email me the best song from it. I have no idea who the heck Kane is. How would I rate my last poop? It was a heavy poop. It was like a heavy 7. What is my opinion on Jackson Brown? I'm not sure. I've not heard of Jackson Brown before. I don't know if they're new or old. Seems like a pretty, common name. I don't even know if I would find them as an artist if I Googled that. You'll have to email me about it. Dead Meadow. I'm familiar with Dead Meadow, but Dead Meadow I find to be one of the blander stoner rock bands out there. Can't say I'm crazy about Dead Meadow. I just think their sound is so. Andy Barnes, thank you very much. Melon, have I heard that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are scoring a Pixar movie in 2020? That sounds interesting. And also potentially horrible. I mean, I guess we'll see. We'll see when the rubber meets the road. I think that's a cool, it's cool that they're getting the bag. They are getting the fucking bag with the Pixar. Good for them, I guess. Again, Sunshine, top 5 Pusha T songs. I don't know if let me verify that. I don't know if I totally agree with that. Is that it is off of a decent project. Oh yeah, that's the track that features Jill Scott. That one's pretty good. I don't know if I like it more than many of the tracks off of Daytona, but it's definitely up there because it is off of one of Push's better projects. What is it about John Mayer's music I don't like? I just think it's kind of boring. I just think it's boring. Just bores me. Just bores me to tears. I just think it's boring singer-songwriter music most of the time. Whenever I enjoy John Mayer's music, it's mostly when I am seeing like some live clips or stuff of him. Because when he's jamming with the really good group of musicians that he surrounds himself with, it sounds great. It sounds fantastic. But generally his songwriting I just find to be very uninteresting. Especially some of those poppier tracks that he was trying to sling as of late. I thought those were terrible. Excuse me. Have I ever reviewed Been Into AWOL Nation? Not really. They're one of the most, they're most well known for Sail, but that is among their worst songs. No, I've never been into AWOL Nation. so I can't comment too deeply on that. I sent you a song by Deluxe a while ago called "Oh Man the Future," and I seem to like it. Did I ever check out the album they released shortly after called More Disco Songs About Love? No, I did not. I could put that in my phone based on liking that other track. I didn't know they came out with a full record. I'll give that try to give the album a try. You missed my opinion. What's my thoughts on Caravan Palace? I don't know if I have any thoughts on Caravan Palace. Caravan Palace. No, I don't think I've gotten into Caravan Palace. Oh God, it's electro swing. Oh Jesus Christ. No, I came across, or rather I saw a few of their album covers when people were like, oh man, you hate electro swing, you have to try Caravan Palace. And I was like, I don't know, man. A fucking robot next to a fucking phonograph. Like, this is just like, I'm not that steampunk. I'm just not steampunk enough for this. Again, I just do not get electro swing. I just don't get the appeal of it. Maybe one day I'll try Caravan Palace, but I have not tried them up until this point. And sorry I missed your previous one. Any favorite Australian bands that I have? Have you heard Gang of Youths? Yes, I have. I think Gang of Youths is like way fucking overrated. My favorite Australian artists right now are Alex Cameron and Kieran J. Callanan, though I know they spend quite a bit of time outside of Australia currently. And obviously King Gizzard. And Eddie Current, Suppression Ring, I think are great as well. Or at least, where I don't know how much stuff they're coming out with as of late. But those are a few. Thoughts on the Mars Volta? One of the better modern prog bands, in my opinion. Maybe a worst to best. Potentially. I think that'd be a good idea one day. What are my thoughts on Snow Allegara? I don't know if I've heard their stuff, though I've seen their name around, and it's a very familiar name. Though I have no idea how to pronounce it. But I put it in the phone. Exit, thank you very much. Thoughts on Soundgarden's discography? I mean, I think, I'm trying to think. What the fuck is that? What is it? Is it Super Unknown? The fuck is that fucking record? Yes, Super Unknown. I love that one. The stuff that came after that, though, I'm not that into. And their early stuff, I think, is just okay, though I think it was, pretty admirable as far as, like, grungier music coming out of, Seattle at the time. I think it's kind of a you had to be there sort of thing. But Super Unknown is like really the fucking record. What are my thoughts on Fandom by Waterparks? Am I going to review it? No plans on reviewing it. I'm not super crazy about it, but I like that band does their thing and kills it, and their fans love the shit out of them. And to me, it's like a little too like uppity and everything. And I think the songwriting is maybe just a little too bright. And I can't say I care for the more electronic poppy instrumentation they're kind of going for on this one, but I respect to them and what they do. It's just not for me. Let's argue Relapse is better than Recovery because of my bias against pop rap. Relapse has always been better than Recovery. Recovery kind of sucks. Excuse me. What are my thoughts on Smino? I think that he is an average singer, average rapper, and I think that those talents don't really come together in an interesting way. I think he also picks uninteresting instrumentals. I think that his songwriting is boring. I'm just not really into Smino. I don't get the hype. I really don't. I got that one. Thoughts on the Tulsi Gabbard being a Russian asset accusations? I saw the New York Times retract that quote, saying it wasn't accurate, but Hillary Clinton still kind of like said something about her. I mean, look, I think Hillary is struggling with like dealing with why she lost and is just kind of like talking out of her ass. And, it just kind of is what it is. But I am weirdly like concerned with like how much like conservatives like love Tulsi Gabbard for whatever fucking reason. I have no idea. Like, she does have some opinions that I don't personally agree with that I think are maybe a little right-wing-ish, but I don't think she's a right-wing politician. I don't think she's a right-wing ideologue. So I don't know exactly, like, what it is conservatives love so much about her, and why they're, like, so desperate to, like, come to her defense when, for all accounts and purposes, she's just as, like, left-wing as, like, Pete Buttigieg, you know what I mean? And you would never see, like, conservatives coming out of the woodwork to be like, no, Pete Buttigieg, we love Pete Buttigieg, you know what I mean? I think on most issues, Pete Buttigieg is probably even more centrist than Tulsi Gabbard. Like, ideologically, there are probably more issues that Pete Buttigieg is closer to, conservatives with than even Tulsi Gabbard is. So again, why conservatives are obsessed with her in the way that they are, I don't know. Let's see. Listened to the new Tegan and Sarah. Hey, I'm just a little like you, or did it pass you by? I've not listened to it. I'm probably not going to hear it. Every single from that album so far I thought has been terrible. Maybe Why You Know review. And also, ow! Thank you for the 20. I'll put it on my calendar for the Why You Know review, and I guess we'll see from there. What's my favorite Elliott Smith album? It is the self-titled. Any chance of a review of the new Mayhem album or the Gate Creeper? Not the Gate Creeper. It wasn't a Why You Know review. The Mayhem is on my calendar though. Favorite non-music YouTube channels. Favorite ones are mostly political ones like Majority Report, Michael Brooks Show, David Pakman Show, Secular Talk, Humanist Report. Those are the ones that I find myself watching the most often. I also like Peter Coffin's channel. ContraPoints every once in a while. Three Arrows. Trying to think of a non-political one that I enjoy. I've been watching a lot of Davey 504 lately. I like Davey. Davey's fun. Davey 504. Hell yeah, Davey. But he's a music channel, so. Thoughts on the Beths? I don't know the Beths, so I cannot say. Who's going to put out a 444 type project record first, Eminem or Kanye? Probably Kanye. Do I have thoughts on the newest Makami album? I have not heard it all the way through, seeing as I like the quality of Chris and Earl. There were features that I thought you would review it. I've not heard it all the way through. I just think Makami is okay. I think he's a good feature artist, but there's not really a project of his I've heard all the way through that has blown me away. So I don't know. Anthony, please go on Chapo. I've not been invited to go on Chapo. I don't know if I would want to go on Chapo. I don't know. And you can give Cinder Billock the cat a shout out. She needs all of our energy right now. See, that's the thing. Another thing is while I like Chapo, I'm not even deep into the lore enough to even fucking know who Cinderblock the cat is. I was even completely out of the fucking, know when I was unironically spamming for Marianne Williamson because I thought she just had a really funny debate performance. But then I learned afterwards she was already kind of a thing amongst the Chapo fans. So it's I don't follow it closely enough. What kind of microphone am I using? This is an RE20. This is an amazing microphone. This is kind of a broadcasting standard. It's a really great mic. It's from what I understand, one of Tom York's favorite mics too. What are my thoughts on Talk Talk and their impact? I'm going to be talking about Talk Talk this coming Classics week, so you can get some insight onto that there, my boy. Mark Hollis is a real interesting musician and songwriter, how he developed from a synth pop sound to more of an experimental sound like a Laughing Stock. Well, that is the record I'm going to be talking about like crazy during Classics week, so I guess just get all my thoughts then. But it is a great record. I'm not sure if this has been asked before, but have I heard the Der Weg Einer Freiheit, the solid black metal band, and their 2 albums are great? No, I don't think I've gotten a suggestion for them yet. I'll pop it in the phone. What are my thoughts on Japanese hardcore bands, crust punk scene? I don't think I've really gotten to the Japanese crust punk scene, so I can't say. I'm not familiar with those groups, honestly. I didn't even know how much crust punk was happening in Japan, though. I mean, most rock trends happening in the West have also sort of like bubbled up in Japan at some point. So, you know, I'm not surprised. Thoughts on DMV rap, Young Legend Young Gleesh? I have not heard that one. I've not heard the DMV rap. The Lethal Donut. I have not heard it. I cannot say. I have no thoughts. You already said that you like MCR's Black Parade, but what do I think of their other albums? I mean, 3 Cheers I think is great. I don't really have much, passion for anything else they've ever put out. But 3 Cheers, while it is not as conceptual as Black Parade, still has like really great riffs and songwriting all over it. So, and I do like to cook. I do like to cook when I get a chance. Last thing I cooked were some good bean and corn, pepper, potato, onion burritos. They came out really good. Hey, Anthony, what are my thoughts on the Stone Roses debut record? I think it's okay. I think it's all right. Over here in the UK, it's considered one of the best debut albums in British history. It really, truly is. I think if I were British, I'd probably like it a lot more. I'll leave it at that. Do I ever just browse SoundCloud? Not lately. I haven't just randomly browsed SoundCloud in a while. I actually catch myself more randomly browsing Bandcamp. Do I have any tricks of filtering through the mounds of trash? No, I do not, which is partially why I don't browse SoundCloud as much as I used to, because it's kind of hard to find something that you really, really like, you know? I should totally get back on Sardonicast or get on the H3 podcast. I haven't been invited back on the Sardonicast, so I wouldn't be against it. And the H3 podcast, I don't know. That would be so fun. Hi, Anthony. Did I manage to listen to Good Donovan's Daughters? No, I did not. It was a super chat I sent last live one. I don't know if I got a chance to listen to that one yet. Let me look back in my history over here, because I went through a bunch of super chats, but I don't know if I went through all of the ones from the very last one. Oh, no, I still have ones from the last one, so I must not have listened to it. It took a while, because it's been weeks and weeks since I had live streamed again. But have not gone through all the last ones, but I will promise you I will get to it at some point when I get through those ones. Did I listen to Baby Metal? A little bit. I think it's just kind of part of the course for the last one, and the last one I thought was just okay. So I don't really see a point in just kind of saying the same shit over about the new one. Yeah. Have I heard of You Will Never Get to Heaven? And what are your thoughts on Have a Nice Life's new singles? I think the singles are just okay, the new ones. Will I ever do a classic review on Death Consciousness? I don't know. No plans on doing that right now. And no, I've not heard of You'll Never Get to Heaven. I don't think so. I'm familiar with John Frusciante's solo discography. Some parts of it, I think it's okay. It's not nearly as, I think, out there as maybe some people make it out to be. But, he's certainly, a wild artistic mind. Just not one of my favorites personally. Okay. Why you no review feet? I don't know. I don't even know what feet is. My feet? Feet on my feet? My feet have never come out with a record, so I can't say that I would review them. Have I heard Sheck Wes's new track? No, I have not. Thoughts on Feet? Feet have 10 toes, and that's good. If Feet is an artist, I have no idea what Feet is. Email me Feet's best track, I guess, and then I will know what Feet is. Let me see. What do I think of Daughter's first album? The early stuff, the more spazzy stuff, is kind of a mess. Not nearly as good as like the self-titled. Not nearly as good as the stuff that would come later. Is Kanye this generation's Dylan? No. Both fans have that speak about preferring the old and new. Yeah, I don't think so. He's not this generation's Dylan by any stretch of the imagination. Do I like any Zelda games? Yes, I have played a great majority of the Zelda games because I kind of grew up on NES, so I've played, most of them. And the music is like classic video game soundtrack shit, especially Ocarina of Time, especially Link to the Past on SNES. Has my opinion on Wolf changed? Not really. Not that I really wanted to go back and listen to Wolf. I haven't. I really have no desire to go back and listen to Wolf. And have I heard of Easy Life? No, not really. I can't say I've heard of Easy Life. Thoughts on Proto Martyr? I think Proto Martyr is okay. I've reviewed their stuff a handful of times. Do just comment on the Earl record already. I am coming out with a track review from a song from the Earl record, and I'm going to be doing a review of the Earl EP very soon. So you can fucking watch that if you want to comment on the Earl record, BHM dude. Or just BHM. Hey, I like your videos. Curious if I have ever heard of Royal Blood. Yes. I think they're a very boring duo. I think their riffs are not all that great. I think the drum beats are boring. I think the vocals are boring. Death from Above 1979 is a way better bass and drum duo. Lightning Bolt is a way better bass and drum duo. Ruins are a way better bass and drum duo. Like Royal Blood is the watered down coffee version of a bassist and a drummer getting together and starting a band. Royal Blood, not interesting. Royal Blood never had a good record. Royal Blood will not be remembered in the halls of rock history because they're just not a good band. Oliver Tree, I have reviewed his stuff before. I think Oliver's fun. There you go. What is your podcast used to... Wait. What is your podcast... Wait. Bleh. What is your proudest... I cannot read. I have a hard time reading. What is your proudest used record store find? I guess like a white label of like the Misfits horror business like EP. Love that record, and it's one of the more out there, or one of the harder to find records that I have. Did I know UBI was originally in the Green New Deal? I'm not against UBI in concept. I just think Yang's application of UBI, and I've been pretty specific on my comments about this, is kind of stupid. Using a VAT tax to fund UBI, I think is dumb, because the expense of the VAT tax can be easily set back onto the consumer, especially given the consumer is going to have $1,000 that they didn't have before, and all you're really doing is just swishing around a bunch of money that was already in the economy. If the VAT tax, or rather the UBI, was based on a wealth tax, and it was actually redistributive and putting money in a place that was not there before, then I would make, or I would think the UBI, or rather this application of the UBI, would make more sense. But I think Yang's application and the way that he's funding it is kind of dumb. And I'll leave it at that. Is Kanye? No, I got that one. $5 from Suffering Perfusion. Thank you very much. Post Malone's Best to Worst. Maybe one day. Thoughts on NeoGaf dying? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Do I think Death Consciousness is a 9 out of 10? No, I don't. But it is a good record, though. What do I think of Bjork's like early bands like Kukl and maybe the Sugar Cubes? I think Sugar Cubes are okay. I think Kukl is kind of a mess, but admirable. I used to have that Kukl record, and can't say I'm crazy about it. Do I think Accordion is Doom's best track? No. I was talking about my favorite films a little bit earlier, maybe 28 Days Later, some Wes Anderson films. Hey, have I played Sayonara Wild Hearts on Switch? No, I have not. Awesome indie rhythm game. Ugh, I hate rhythm games. Not that I find them particularly hard or anything, but I just think they're tedious. I don't think they're mentally stimulating. I'm more of a gamer. I like problem solving and that sort of thing. I just do not. I do not with rhythm games. I just don't. Even fun ones like Prappa the Rapper. I just don't. I can't. I just can't. As much as I like music, I just don't. Excuse me. Have I heard this album Woof Woof by Arthur? I think it's pretty cool and deserves more attention, but that's just me. Anthony at theneedledrop.com. Hit me with that email. Send me the best song. Top 5 Tom Waits songs go? No. I could do maybe top 5 Tom Waits albums. Maybe Rain Dogs, in no particular order, of course. Rain Dogs, Blood Money, Bone Machine, Mule Variations. And maybe I'm just going to, personal favorite, I'm going to say Real Gone. Thoughts on Unwound and their potential leaves turn the inside, you classic review. No classic review for Unwound planned. Though, excuse me. Let me verify this. Unwound. I want to make sure I'm not mixing these two artists up. Yes. Okay, Unwound. Unwound, I think, is a somewhat overrated post-hardcore band. I don't hate their stuff, but I don't find it as interesting as other people seem to. And I just don't think their stuff is that great. I just don't. And there's a lot of post-hardcore stuff that I love. Was one of my favorite genres in the 2000s. Fugazi is one of my favorite bands of all time. But I just don't care for Unwound. Am I excited for when Eminem passes to see what comes out of his vault? Maybe. Am I excited to see for when Eminem passes to see? Yeah, I don't know if I'm that excited for that. Yeah, I don't know if I am, honestly. I don't think Eminem has like tons of great fucking music in the vault. He's just not releasing. You know what I mean? I just don't think so. Why is everyone saying feet? I can't say. Maybe one day we'll all find out. Have I heard of Teen Suicide, specifically their album, Its Biggest Joy Celebration? Let's start the Tiny Pot. Yeah, I have. I have heard of Teen Suicide. I am familiar with their stuff as well as other sort of side projects related to Teen Suicide. I can't say I'm crazy about it. I'm just not that into it. And let me move on to this next one. Favorite film score soundtracks. Mostly Vangelis and Ennio Morricone soundtracks. Those two, I think, are two of my favorite soundtrack artists. I'll just leave it at that. What would I rate White Pony? Probably an 8 out of 10, at least. It's a really good record. One of Deftones' best. What would I like to hear from Sufjan? Childish Gambino's Gorillaz in a Radiohead record? What, with them all collaborating? I don't know if I could say what I would like individually from each one of their records all at once. I mean, I would love to hear maybe Sufjan do another installment of the 50 States. Gambino, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to his new record. I think he's going to kill it. I can't really say what I'm looking forward to hearing from him because I just think as is, not worrying about it, given what we've heard so far, I think the new record's going to be good. Gorillaz, I would love to hear Gorillaz just kind of focusing a bit more on like 2D's vocals, better instrumentals, funkier beats. I don't know. And Radiohead, I don't know about Radiohead either because I think Radiohead's in a good place creatively. So, Moonshaped Pool was really good. So, I don't know. I can't say. Thoughts on Drexcia? I don't know. I don't think I've heard Drexcia, Red Cal. I don't think I've heard Drexcia. Let me see what's going on here. Let me grab that. Boop. I'll pop it in the phone. I'm going pescatarian starting 2020. Woo. Also, please do Illinois, Sufjan, and late registration, Kanye. I don't know if I'm going to do any Kanye for Classics Week, given how much I talked about all those records and the Kanye worst to best. A Sufjan Illinois record would be fun. And pescatarian, I mean, good luck. I guess, if you do go pescatarian, which, I mean, is an improvement, don't try to just like make every one of your fucking meals revolve around fish. Like, figure out how to eat, more greens, more beans, more grains. And when I say grains, I mean whole grains, not like processed shit that's going to, make you all bloated and shit. Learn to, focus more on learning to cook with tofu or something, as opposed to like more fish, because I mean, with all the shit going on with the ocean, it may not be like the best decision health-wise. That's all I'm saying. If I've heard it, thoughts on Heaven's Basement by Neon Indian. I don't think I've heard that one. Heaven's Basement by Neon Indian. If I have heard that one, it's been years. Yeah, I don't think I heard that. No, I did not hear that track last year at all. Huh. I'll just have to try it later. But yeah, I didn't hear that track at all. Thanks for turning me on to it. Funeral Doom is misunderstood and underrated. Some artists really take you on an emotionally intensive ride through both positive and negative feels. Yeah, I mean, Funeral Doom, Ahab, shit like that, I guess is really about the vibe. It's about the feel, It kind of is what it is. I should put Q&A replays up on the Patreon. Also, Choking Victim, Leftover Crack Opinions. Choking Victim, I think, came out with one of the best ska punk records of all time. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. And good idea with the patrons. Good idea. Have I heard of the band Twerp? Maybe. Their album Together Through Time is great. I've talked about Ninja Sex Party before, so I'm curious. Are they like Ninja Sex Party? Because if they are, I don't like Ninja Sex Party, so I don't know why you would want to recommend them. But hey, how would I rate An Empty Bliss Beyond This World? I don't know. I don't know how I would rate that. I don't think I've heard that one. An Empty Bliss Beyond This World. I don't think I've heard it. Oh, yes. How would I rate that? I don't know. But I am looking forward to trying the new Caretaker record once I get hours and hours of time. I'm not sure how I'm going to review it. It's so fucking long. And I like to hear a record at least a few times through before I talk about it. But in Empty Bliss, I do like the vibe of it. I'm just not crazy about the process. What do I think happens after death? I think we rot in the ground. Have I ever heard of Jedi Mind Tricks? I have. The debut record is great. The stuff that came after, I think, kind of ranges from okay to not so okay. And no opinions on the French rap scene, as I really don't have any kind of, understanding of it. New Santana thoughts. I know I did get a question about it during a previous live stream, or rather in a Let's Argue. It is still on my calendar. I am going to try to talk about it at some point. Opinion on the Grateful Dead. Not into the Grateful Dead. Could never get into the Grateful Dead. I just do not care for the Grateful Dead. I just don't really get much out of it, personally. If you could rate the last 5 presidents out of 10, oh God, what would they each be? The last 5 presidents out of 10? Trump, not good. Obama, maybe a 5, maybe a 6 on a good day. Bush, fucking a 3. Clinton, a 4 or a 5. Bush before him, a 4 maybe. Reagan before him, a 2. I'm not crazy about mainstream president. I'm just not really crazy about mainstream politicians. Opinion of the Grateful Dead. Yeah, I talked about that one. Thanks for putting me on to Charlie XCX with your latest review. I caught her live set the other day. Had a blast. Truly the future of pop. Vroom, vroom. Hell yeah. Thank you for the nice comment and supporting the channel. I missed your last one. Sorry about that. Wondering if I have any plans to review the new Anamanaguchi. I am still processing it. Yes. Judas Priest tier list when? I don't know. That's a long tier list, my friend. That is a long tier list. Do I love Collage Dropout more than Kids See Ghosts? I think they're kind of on par. I'd have to think about it more, but I think they're on par. Thoughts on rap albums getting shorter and shorter? I think it's a welcome change, cutting out the filler tracks. Yeah, I mean, generally, I think that's a kind of a good thing. Though I don't think it's a trend everyone is following, but I think it's a better thing than having a 90-minute record of shitty songs. What are my thoughts on Sonic Youth? I think they're one of the better noise rock bands out there, period. Favorite album? Probably some of my favorites are Goose, Sister, Daydream Nation, though I've not heard every single one of their records, I don't think. Would I ever review one of their records for Classics Week? Probably someday. Black Midi is coming to Detroit next week. Should I go see them? Yes. Thoughts on Migla? I have not heard the new record all the way through, though when I Googled it, I saw some weird kind of Nazi ties and shit that I did not like, so I don't want to have another Death Spill Omega situation, so... what are my thoughts on Pitchfork's pretty brutal review of Tool's Lateralis? I've not read that review, so I can't really say. Though I know Pitchfork's never liked Tool, so who cares? I think Comsat Angels are really underrated post-punk band, overshadowed by Joy Division. I don't think I've ever heard their stuff, so honestly, I'm just gonna have to try it out another time. Have you heard the new See You Space Cowboy album? Yes. I thought it was way more generic than the compilation. They actually ended up just kind of sounding like, the type of post-hardcore, hardcore band that I would want to avoid. I thought the breakdowns were kind of cheesy and just really a step down. Thoughts on Griselda as a whole? I think they're overrated as a whole. They're overrated. I love your metal reviews. Best in the game. Favorite horror film? It's one of my favorite horror films. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not a film guy. I'm really not. I feel like a good film person would have that off the top of their head, but I don't know. Check out The Future Hates Me by the Beths. It is a nice rock album from 2018. Okay, someone mentioned them earlier, and I saved that. Personal top 5 David Bowie songs? God, I don't know. Top 5 David Bowie songs. Changes. Probably 5 Years. Rock and Roll Suicide. Fucking Golden Years. I'm trying to think of the title of it from the new one, but one of the tracks from Black Star that I'm thinking of. I can't fucking think about it. I can't think of the title. I'm burning out. Any rock book related recommendations? Not really off the top of my head, sadly. I haven't really read a good rock book in a while. I've mostly been reading Mad Comics and the graphic novels lately. The Saga graphic novels specifically, which I think is really good. Favorite UK rappers? My favorite UK rappers right now are Slow Tie and Lil Sims. Also, what do I think of the new Earl Sweatshirt project? I will be talking about that soon. Track review on the Fantano channel today. How much music theory do I know? I mean, I know my scales. I know my modes. I know my keys. And, I know majors and minors and augmenteds and diminished chords. I know what tempo and time signature are. I know what eighth notes and quarter notes and 16th notes are. I can't sight read, but I could I could draw out a bass clef. And when I say sight read, I don't mean like, can I pick up the bass and literally put sheet music in front of me and just be like, bam, bam, bam? Not really. I could look at sheet music and figure out what the notes are and then go back and do that. So, I mean, a reasonable amount considering I, have taken a lot of music lessons when I was a kid. So, top 5 Prince albums. Purple Rain's in there. Sign of the Times is in there. 1999 is in there. I don't know. Those are probably the top 3. I can't think of another 2. Please do Black Parade and Dookie for Classics Week. I'm going to do Black Parade, not Dookie this year. I was thinking about Dookie, but I'm going to do Black Parade instead. Give the band Ohm a listen. Awesome young female rock duo out of Chicago. Great guitarists and unique vocals. Okay. I'll put it in my phone. I'll see what it sounds like. And bum, I never reviewed the Sam Gagliardi newest record this year. Yeah, I think I didn't really get much out of it. I thought the timbres were kind of bland. I remember I liked his older EPs. Yeah, I thought that the early EPs were pretty good. But the sounds on the new record I thought were just okay. Didn't think there was a lot of great sound craft on it, frankly. Though some of the compositions seemed pretty interesting. Last stream you said I would regret not reviewing Viagra Boys. I do. Can I give you a quick micro review? I just think it's a good sleazy post-punk record with a lot of great grooves, good energy, some funny absurd songs and lyrics. I just think it's grimy and dirty and filthy and fun as fuck. That's pretty much what I think. Will I be reviewing the new Earl project? Yes, first thing, Monday or Tuesday. And I have a track review of a song from the project, the track Easy, going up on the Fantano channel today. All right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that. This has been a good and a fruitful and a fun Q&A live stream. You were the best. Thoughts on Jeff Buckley? I think was a really great singer. I don't think his songs were quite my taste, but feet. I hope y'all are doing good. Thoughts on Dream Theater? I think they had some good prog stuff back in the day, but I think they get worse and worse and worse as they go on. I think they transitioned from being one of the better modern prog bands to being one of the worst progressive rock bands out there, period. Rites of Spring classic review? Maybe, if I'm feeling emo enough. Favorite country artist, if any? Johnny Cash. Merle Haggard. Yeah, those are probably 2 of my favorites. I just said my thoughts on Jeff Buckley. Thoughts on Gallant? The new record sounded very bland. LaRue is back. New LaRue. I'm pretty excited about that. Favorite Mr. Bungle album might be California. My Chemical Romance Reunion. I'm pretty hype about that. And favorite rapper? I don't have one. Favorite Fugazi song? No. Am I going to review the new Jeff Lynne record? I don't know. I am interested in trying it. Whether or not it's good will depend on whether or not I review it or just talk about it in a Why You Know review. Thoughts on Cosmo Pike? I don't really have any. I don't have any thoughts on Cosmo Pike, sadly. I want to hear your opinion on the new Whir album. Whir is a very mediocre, sucky band with no good records. There is not one great Whir record, and there will never be. I can say this with, a a lot of confidence that there will never be a great or a classic Whir album. So because of that, there's really no point in listening to Whir. Like, there are way better bands that do nearly what Whir does. So there's no reason to listen to Whir. Just a very mediocre, uninteresting band with bland songs and no great records. And I've not heard the Ash Nico EP, a new Gangstar album. I've heard some of the tracks from it. It sounds pretty good so far. My favorite science fiction stuff probably comes from Kurt Vonnegut. Cat's Cradle is great. Jack Stauber is a very fun YouTuber. Favorite reggae artist. Police and Thieves is definitely one of my favorite reggae albums. Protest the Hero I do not care for. I am excited for the Rage Against the Machine return. Thoughts on the new Drain Gang? Drain Gang I don't think is really all that great. I think they are aesthetic over substance, and you can't really say much else about them. I don't know if I'm that much into Greek grindcore. Do you really read the recommendations from your phone? Like, yeah, I take pictures of some of the recommendations that you send me, and I just go back and I look in my photos and I see the recommendations. Yeah. Thoughts on Mick Jenkins? I think that Mick Jenkins has fallen off a little bit, but I think he's talented enough to where he could bounce back with a great record. I just think, his latest stuff has not really been all that great, sadly. But to answer that person's question earlier, yes, I just take pictures of your suggestions and I just look at them later. All right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that. You've been the best. Thank you very much for chilling with me in this live stream. And it feels good to be back in the saddle with this live stream. It's been a while since we've done one of these. And I hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good afternoon. I will be getting more videos out soon. And what's my opinion on Blank Banshee? Blank Banshee's okay. I think it's great that they're one of the more cutting edge, or rather have been one of the more cutting edge vaporwave artists out there, bringing trap into the fold a little bit. But I can't say it's one of my favorites. D's nuts or nah? Yeah, D's nuts every day. D's nuts every day. All right. I love you, love you, love you. I'm going to go get something to eat because I'm starving. And you're the best. Anthony Fantano, Q&A, live stream, forever.